This is Candace Owens getting fact-checked about Israel-Palestine by a comedian.
When people call it, this bastion of freedom, or it's just like America, it's not the sense that I had when I was there. And again, we had talked earlier on about how our own experiences obviously color our opinions. And I grew up, at my grandparents' house. My grandfather grew up in a segregated South. And so when I'm walking through Jerusalem and you see, and they say these are the Muslim quarters, this is where the Muslims are allowed to live, that doesn't feel like a bastion of freedom to me. So I guess.
Oh, I don't think it's where they're allowed to live in Jerusalem. I think it's that there's an Armenian quarter. It's not saying the Armenians can only live here. It's that there are communities, just like there's a Jewish community in Jersey here, and there's a Muslim community in here. I don't think, to my understanding, it's not restrictions within Israel proper of where Israeli.
I think it is where they have. I mean, at least that's what the rabbi who was taking me around. He said these are the Muslim quarters, so this is where the Muslims
live, but he didn't say anything about legally saying they cannot live in other places within Israel proper. I mean, there's Israeli Arab citizens that have full rights. Israeli Arabs.
I'm only talking about Jerusalem, so I haven't been to Tel Aviv or anything like that. I'm just talking about particularly.
Jerusalem itself as a city has a division in it where the Green Line divides, and there's East Jerusalem. That's maybe what he was talking about, not the Muslim quarter, but East Jerusalem. There's disputed territory within the West Bank and East Jerusalem that divides, and therefore they're under Palestinian authority or even other jurisdiction. But that's a different conversation as far as what those are. But Arabs within Israel, if you go to Israel, people would be surprised to see on every street sign Hebrew, English, and Arabic. You see a multicultural city. So I'm keep going a little bit because I'm curious in your experience in Jerusalem.
Yeah, no, and maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but I think it's worth talking because my understanding from the rabbi was that this is where the Muslims have to live in Jerusalem, and it looked very different from where the Jewish people were living, and that again, that could not be any fault of any person other than this is how they take care of their stuff, and this is the way that we take care of their stuff. But it was noticeably a lot dirtier, it was noticeably a lot darker, and it just made me feel as a Black American and knowing my own history that this is not this isn't freedom to me. Like if you can't just decide like I want to live on that street or I want to live on this street, but maybe I'm wrong and it wasn't. Right. They were just all choosing to live there.
It might have been a misunderstanding. Imagine if you went into an inner city in the United States and somebody told you this is a predominantly Black neighborhood and you said it looked more run down. Would you say that America is systemically racist because
if I was giving a tour of it, I wouldn't say this is the Black quarters. Probably.
Or this is a Black neighborhood, but maybe somebody in the group might misunderstand that.
Yeah, and maybe I did. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, you did. Candace, you did misunderstand that. I actually think that the misunderstanding has led to an incredible amount of misrepresentation to the tens of millions of people who listen to you. I was in East Jerusalem 3 days ago. I was with an IDF reservist lieutenant colonel who spent and still spends his reservist time, he's in his 40s, going into the West Bank, into different villages, specifically in Area A and Area B of the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, however you want to call it, ridding the area of terrorists who are planning attacks. They have an incredible amount of intel from the Modi'in, the intelligence branch of the IDF here in Israel, that give them some advance notice of what could potentially happen inside of Israeli territory. So he goes in with his unit. He goes into civilian homes, neighborhoods. He's showed me the footage of how they basically take the family members, the boys, the girls, the wives. They put them safely into another room and they arrest and take out the terrorist. And he told me when we were looking overlooking East Jerusalem, where we were literally next to Palestinians, he was saying that a lot of the people here, I drove through it. I drove through secular parts of the city. I drove through the moderate parts. I drove through the Orthodox parts, like the religious parts of these areas. These people go back into the old city. They work for the hotels. They work for the spas. They work for the restaurants. They earn a great living. They come back and they love their lives. But what they'll tell you off camera, and as long as they're not recording, is that they don't agree with this radical ideology to try and annihilate the Jewish people. We went to the top of this outlook in his home village in East Jerusalem, and there were Palestinians drilling together a new staircase for this house that they were building, and they gave us the chair, we sat. They want nothing to do with what's going on with this segregated area that Candace is talking about. It's not segregated. The reason that there's a border fence, a security wall between Israel and Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, is because there have been so many attacks on Israeli citizens in Israel, in my home, here in Tel Aviv, down the street, over and over, in Jerusalem, bus bombings, first intifada, second intifada, you name it. That Israel had to put up something in order to patch the dam. They had to put the thumb on the dam for a little while. It's not going to create long, sustainable two-state solution peace. Of course not. We all know that. Because the other narrative feels like, okay, you guys are locking us in more. Well, it's like, hey, you're giving us a reason to lock you in. Stop giving us a reason. I keep saying that over and over. Candace and many people who haven't been here don't seem to understand that. And it's so interesting when you watch a lot of these interviews, you see people who are speaking to people who are making these absurd claims against Israel, and you find one theme. Douglas Murray found it with Dave Smith. Candace Owens has never been to this part. And if she has, then she's lying about what she's talking about, because then she would know that when you walk through Israel and you go to Jerusalem and you see the four quarters of the old city and you see the people praying, you know who can't go up to Temple Mount? You know who can't go up and pray there? Me. I can't go up there and practice being a Jew up on Temple Mount, Candace. So why am I being discriminated against because I'm a Jew? I can't practice my freedom of religion where I want to in the holiest place to Judaism? But Muslims can pull over wherever they want in the country, take out a rug, take out a carpet, whatever, and start praying, and no one will bother them. You know what? The next time I remember, I'm flying tomorrow. This video was filmed on May 20th. I'm flying tomorrow, and I'm not going to be back for a while. But when I get back, if I remember, I'm going to take a video of the next time that I'm driving or biking down the promenade, the Tayelet, right on the Mediterranean coast on the sea in Tel Aviv. I'm going to show you what Yafo looks like. I'm going to show you all of the picnics, all of the families, all of the women wearing hijabs, all of the Arabs, all of the Muslims playing, having a barbecue, smoking hookah, playing with their dogs, walking their children, pushing around the stroller. With me and other Jews and other Israelis and other Christians and other non-Jews and tourists of all languages, backgrounds, ethnicities, cultures, you name it, walking by, paying attention, not paying attention, moving on. It's just a free-flowing state. It's a democracy. You're allowed to practice who you want to be, especially in a place like here in Tel Aviv. In Jerusalem too. You have to come see things in real life in order to be able to talk about it. I refuse to let that go. I will continue to talk about that. It's the most important part. You have to see things. You have to feel things. You have to understand. You have to witness. You have to gain that perspective. You have to ask the questions. You have to put away what you've known from the news and the media and this and that, and you have to see it. What are you wearing? Goggles? Are you dreaming? Are you on ayahuasca? No, you're seeing it. You're not going to forget that. And if what you see isn't the same as what you preach, then you're lying. It's the definition of propaganda. Thank you so much for all your support. See you next video. If you want to continue the conversation, you can support my work for free. Discord does not cost a thing. It is the best way to connect with me and others who are seeking the truth. The link is in the description. But if you want to take it one step further, my Patreon gives you access to the Israel you don't see, uncovering the untold stories of what mainstream media does not show you. The link is in the description, and it helps me to continue this work. Or if you're just looking to help this thing go, PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee is a really easy way to support me. This channel, this work does not happen without all of you. Thank you. I love you. I'll see you next time.